Oh, and see if you can spot my error and figure out how my 24-hour readathon actually turned out to be a 25-hour readathon. Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and I love to talk about books, and I'm just jumping on at the start of this vlog to record a bit of a better intro because I seem to be incapable of introducing myself when I'm recording a vlog. So this is my vlog for the Dewey's 24-hour readathon that took place on the 24th of October, so last week. So I hope you'll join me and enjoy some cosy reading on a weekend with some horrendous weather. And I'll jump back in at the end of the vlog to let you know my stats. Did you take part in Dewey's last week? How did you get on? I'd love to hear. Will you be taking part next time? If you've never tried Dewey's before, I hope this vlog inspires you to give it a go and you'll take part in the next one, which should be, I think, April. But without me waffling on anymore, let's jump into the vlog. Could this weather be any more perfect for a day spent cozied up on the sofa and reading? I love the rain when I'm not walking in it. So it's 1 o'clock, we are kicking off. I've got the kettle on, I'm just about to make myself some breakfast because I haven't eaten yet today. And I know that Danny over at Spinelli Speaks is doing a wee live just to kick off the readathon, so I'm going to join in with that while I get myself sorted, and then I'll be getting into those books. So I've got my coffee and my smoothie and I've just joined in with Danny's live chat. We're doing a wee reading sprint now. Can't get this to line up properly. There we go. No. Hey, Danny. Woo, she's reading. And I've just turned on my Kindle, which has been on charge all night, and the battery was flat. So I'm waiting for it to start up, and then I'm going to kick off with Petals of Rain. What's going on with my hair? Oh dear. Already look like a burst sofa and we've not even started. Down the book for a little minute and just give you a wee update. I am about 30% into Petals of Rain, so I've read for like an hour and 14 minutes so far in the first 2 hours, because I've spent some time on Danny's live chat that ended about half an hour ago, and updating Goodreads and stuff like that as well, just to get the social side of things kicked off. So I think it's annoying me that I haven't done my housework today, so I am going to stick my Kindle onto the text to speech function, just while I get a couple of things done around the house. I don't really like that function because it's not a proper narrator, but it's better than missing out on reading while I do what needs to be done. But yeah, Petals of Rain is what I have started with, and this is her memoir of coming from a turbulent childhood into quite a dysfunctional relationship and becoming a mother to 2 boys in her early 20s, and there's a lot of sadness, and it's not as dark or tough a read as I thought it was going to be. She's got some really beautiful turns of phrase in there. There was one she was describing when she'd met her second baby when he'd been born, that his lips quivered like guitar picks, strumming the strings of my heart. And then there's another one where a therapist tells her to get back into writing to help deal with her emotions. And so she buys herself a journal and she writes, and she says it's like crying through my fingers, but at least I can feel again. And oh, yeah, both of those really struck me. So I think I'm going to carry on with that. I was going to shake it up and change to a different book, but I think I'm going to stick with that while I get these chores done, and then I'll switch it up. Oh, I'm looking a bit dishevelled now. Not that I wasn't earlier. But I'm, just running around the house, stripping beds and dusting and unloading the dishwasher and cleaning the bathroom. I listened to a bit of my book, but then my older boy just came home and has talked my face off for the past 40 minutes. So I haven't actually done much reading. So we're just about to go into hour 4 and I've only read for an hour and a half. So I really need to pull my socks up here and get cracking. Into hour 5, I've spent most of the last hour getting stuck into Michele Weldon's Act Like You're Having a Good Time, which is a collection of essays just reflecting on where she is in her life at 61. She's been a single mum to 3 boys, and she's just considering did she meet her ambitions and things like that. And I'm finding that really interesting. So I'm now on to my second coffee. I don't know why I feel like I need to chart this when I vlog when I'm doing Dewey's, but I've got a lovely toffee nut latte. And I also cracked out earlier, I had a caramel rooibos tea. So that's the first time I've had one of my flavoured teas in a long time. I've got so many. I was a little bit worried that they would be off because I used to drink them all the time and then just really went off them. But that was really nice. And now that the weather is getting colder, I'm glad that I have found those again. But yeah, now I'm back with my fave, a flavoured cappuccino, and I am going to keep going with Act Like You're Having a Good Time for this hour, and I'll probably jump onto the Goodreads group just now before I get back into the reading, just to take part in any of the hourly chats that I've missed, and probably update my little thread that I've got on there as well. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying this. This readathon feels a bit more chilled than the reverse readathon I did in August. I think the weather's helping. That always just makes me feel like it's totally okay to sit in one spot and do nothing but read. I think in the August one, because I was moving about, I sat in the garden for a bit and things like that, there was a bit more pace to it. Whereas this one, I just feel like totally luxurious, indulgent, and yeah, so I don't know if that's going to make for a particularly interesting blog, but I'm having a great time. Nearly the end of hour 6, and I've managed to pull together some dinner. I had some prawns and some curry sauce that I'd made and frozen, so I've just whacked all that together with some pasta and some green beans. So there you go, there's dinner. I totally didn't realise that Strictly's on tonight. Normally they get 2 weeks to learn their first dance, but it's on the telly right now, and I don't know if I can read and watch Strictly at the same time. I'm going to try, but if not, Strictly's going to have to go off. I'm recording it anyway, I can watch it tomorrow instead.
which I'm sure the boys would love. In fact, actually, I probably will do that, because then we can watch it when they come home from their dad, and I can kind of just slump on the sofa and we can all watch Strictly together. So I think that's what I'll do. I'm just going to watch this opening dance. God, I wish I could dance. I love this program so much. And I'm also really loving my books, but I'll talk about that after I've watched this dance. It's getting up for a wee stretch and walk around. I convinced myself to turn Strictly off. There was just no way I was going to be able to read a book and watch dancing at the same time, so I'll catch up with that tomorrow. I've just caught up on the social media stuff. I've not really been all that busy on there this time around. I think I just really want to get into the books. So we are into hour 8, and so I think this hour I will hopefully finish my first book and maybe go for a wee walk on my treadmill, because my step count today is ridiculous, because all I've done is sit on my bum. So yeah, might do that as well. So hopefully when you next join me, you'll get some different scenery. Steps to make up. I'm glad that's over with. But I did get Petals of Rain finished while I was on the treadmill, so that's me 1 book down for the readathon, and we are just approaching the end of hour 9, so a bit slower progress than I'd hoped, but I think I've got a good few hours in me yet before I start to wonder if I'll need a nap. So Petals of Rain, really beautifully written in parts, a compelling story. It switches time frame quite a lot from her childhood, where things were not great, to her marriage in her early adulthood, and becoming a mother quite young, and that marriage was quite dysfunctional, and then life as a single mother with her 2 boys, and how she copes with that, and then getting into her 40s. But it's all kind of jumbled up, but in a way that I thought really worked. But I don't know, it lost me a bit towards the end. It's a very hopeful story, you know, like it does have a very positive ending. But I think something kind of got lost in that. I feel bad saying that, like I'm really glad that she had a happy ending, but I just think it just became a little bit too neat, and less about her and more about the man that she meets, and I would have rather the focus stayed on her. But I did enjoy it, and so I'm going to read another one of Michele Weldon's essays, and then I will start All Men Want to Know. But I'm also going to stick the kettle on, get another cup of tea or coffee. I think I'll go for tea at the moment. Get another cup of tea and crack out some chocolate. Here we go, provisions for the next wee while. I've got some more caramel rooibos tea, and I mean, this is really why I'm filming this, because this is my favourite chocolate in the entire world. It brings together my 2 previous favourites of a twirl and a Terry's chocolate orange. I usually have a bit of chocolate on a Friday night, so it's been absolutely killing me to have to wait until now to have this. But I am really, really looking forward to getting into this. I was going to film myself eating it, but I think that's a bit gratuitous. So you'll just have to enjoy the packet instead. But why? Why is it a limited edition? That's just torture. It doesn't make me buy more, it just means that once you stop selling them, I'll be forever sad. I'm going to go and have some quiet time with this. It's midnight, I'm tired and I'm hungry, so I'm going to address one of those issues and see if I can buy myself a couple more hours that way. So I'm just gonna make myself some poached eggs to go with a salad I've got in the fridge, and yeah, just see if that will give me some fuel to keep going. God, I look tired. My mascara has run. I don't know why that is. But my bags are pretty obvious. I will have a snap at some point though. I am 45% through All Men Want to Know, which is, it's okay, that's wrong. It's good, I'm enjoying it, but because it's a NetGalley, the formatting in it is so bad, it's actually really hard to read, so that's quite frustrating. So I'm going to make this, and then I think I'll switch back to Michele Weldon's book and read a few more of her essays, and then just see how I'm feeling. Admit defeat. The wall has been hit. I'm gonna have to go for a nap for a couple of hours. I did read more of Michele Weldon. I think I'm 55% through that. I'm liking it. It's interesting. I'm too tired to do any summing up right now. So yeah, I've set my alarm. I'm taking bets now on whether I actually manage to wake up. As predicted, I did struggle to wake back up, but we are 10 to 5 in the morning, and I'm finally awake, so I think it's time for coffee, and then back to the books. And to go with my coffee, I've decided to have a wee snack of peanut butter on some caramel rice cakes. So I'm going to sink my teeth into these while I sink my teeth into a book. It's nearly 8 o'clock. I have showered, got into some fresh clothes, and obviously done a lot of reading. I'm about 75% through both All Men Want to Know and Act Like You're Happy to Be Here. So I'll hopefully get those finished in the next hour or two. I'm going to head down to Costa to read for a bit, just for a bit of a change of scene, but also to mainline sugar and pretend that it's a healthy breakfast. Well, no, I'm not even going to pretend it's a healthy breakfast. I'm probably going to get like the worst thing that I possibly can. Just to keep me going. Hide with me, hide with me, hide with me.
Sun is up, the clouds are gone, but I'm still here with wounds on my feet. Where will you be?
That was really nice. Just in case you were wondering, I had a cinnamon spiced cappuccino and a cinnamon swirl brioche. Not a very substantial breakfast, but it was such a treat. And now I'm home. Whilst in Costa, I finished All Men Want to Know, and yeah, that was really interesting. So the memoir partly covers Nina's exploration of her sexuality in the 80s, living in Paris, where she has to confront her own homophobias and fears and just navigate life in the gay scene at that time, and then also looks at her childhood in Algeria during the Civil War, and particularly looks at issues of identity. Sorry, nearly dropped my phone. Yeah, issues of identity. She is a French Algerian, so she was kind of made to feel like she didn't belong in Algeria, but also even her own family back in France kind of made her feel like she didn't belong there. It also looks a lot at her mother's experience of being slighted by her family for marrying an Algerian man, particularly in, I think it was the 60s they met, so a mixed race couple was really not the norm, and her family didn't respond very well to it. To her mother's experiences of living in Algeria, something pretty horrible happens to her mum. Thankfully we don't get a lot of graphic details, but she looks a lot at her mother's earlier life experiences and how what happened to her mum led to the family moving back to Paris. And it was a really interesting read. It was, two life experiences that I am not privy to. And I absolutely love reading memoirs of people that live completely different lives to me, gaining that understanding and just seeing how other people navigate the world. So yeah, I did enjoy that one. So I've still got Act Like You're Happy to Be Here to finish off. So I'll do that, and also start Dear Reader by Cathy Rentzenbrink. And I don't even know what time it is. It's 9:30. So 3.5 hours left of the readathon. So I don't know if I will start the Nicole Krauss or if I'll just try and focus on finishing the Michele Weldon and getting through as much of Dear Reader as I can, but I'll see how I feel. Confession time. I didn't realise the clocks had gone back. So actually here in the UK, the readathon actually runs from 1 p.m. yesterday till 12 p.m. today. But I kind of feel like I've cheated myself, because obviously when I went for a nap and set my alarm, I got an extra hour of sleep, but I've lost that hour of reading. So I am still going to stick to my finish time being 1 p.m. Otherwise I wouldn't have taken the length of nap that I had. I think that makes sense. I cannot get my head around time changes. Yes, if I have a nap at 2, set my alarm for 4. Actually, why did it say 1 to 4? I don't know. I'm going to finish at 1. Okay, I've decided. Well, it's 10 to 1. So that's my readathon pretty much over. I'll probably film. I'll be closing a bit later once I've figured out how long I read for, pages and all of that sort of stuff. But in this last few hours I have finished. Is it Act Like You're Having a Good Time or Act Like You're Happy to Be Here? I think I keep switching between those two. Finished that collection of Michele Weldon's essays on being in her 60s and things. I liked it. There was a lot in there that I really enjoyed, but I did get a little bit impatient, even though, I mean, she acknowledges throughout that, you know, she knows she's got nothing to complain about. She knows that she's lived like quite a privileged, happy, nice life. But I did get a bit frustrated with, she does talk a lot about how she's not as successful as she thought she would be, and how she hasn't achieved as much as she thought she had, and how she's not a very, you know, like important or whatever sort of person. But she's a journalist, she's written books, she's a lecturer at a university. Like, she's an accomplished woman. And so I found that quite, I don't know, just a little bit grating to read, because I will probably never be as accomplished as that. How am I meant to feel? And then I am 64% through Dear Reader, which I am loving. There's book recommendations in there, there's memories of books she's read, and she was a Waterstones bookseller for a long time, and as someone who was also a Waterstones bookseller, I am loving reading about her experiences. And if you watch my reacting to Bookish memes video, you might find it quite funny to hear that she also has a creepy customer Karma Sutra in Waterstones story. And I don't know if I shared the poo story in that video. Maybe I'll keep that one for another time. But she also has a Waterstones poo story as well, which just made me laugh so much. So yeah, I've had a really great time. I'm actually not feeling that tired, although I look tired. But I am going to have a wee nap before my younger two come home from their dad, because I don't think they deserve a grumpy mum. My mum has texted to ask if we want to go for dinner at hers tonight, and I'm like, yes, I do. I do not want to cook. I want someone to feed me and just close off the weekend in complete comfort, and of course catch up on Strictly. So that's the end of my readathon. I'll hop back on and update my stats, but thanks for joining me. I know this one probably wasn't as visually fun, but it is peeing down, which is great for a participant of a readathon. I love bad weather when I want to read, but I don't think it makes for much interesting watching. But for now, I'm just going to curl up where I am. I've got a duvet. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. I've got a duvet, so I'm just going to snooze here.
So there we have it. That was my Dewey's weekend. And just for some stats to wrap up this video, I read 3 books in their entirety and 75% of a 4th book. So if you saw my TBR, I didn't get to all 5 books that I had listed, but I did make pretty good progress. So that's 720-ish pages. In the 24 hours, or 25 in my case, I managed to read for a total of 17 hours and 23 minutes. So this wasn't my most successful readathon. That had been the August reverse readathon that I've also made a vlog for, so I'll link that. So although in this readathon I read more books, I actually read less pages because the books were shorter. In August I had read 587 pages plus an audio book, so that's something like, I don't know, 890 pages, and in that readathon I read for, I think, just under 19 hours, so I read for less time in this one as well. But I still had a lot of fun doing it. I still read a lot, and far more than I used to read in my earlier readathons. And my Fitbit says that I slept for 3 hours, or just over 3 hours in this readathon as well. So that kind of, there's 3.5 hours there that are unaccounted for by either sleeping or reading, so I can only assume that was like chatting to my oldest son, cooking dinner, and then doing things on social media, although I was a lot less active on social media in this readathon than I have been in other ones. I just wasn't feeling it this year, to be honest. I was not in the mood to be taking photos, and updating things on Goodreads. I just wanted to get through the books, which I guess is what a readathon is really about. Of the books that I finished during the readathon, I think Nina Bouraui's All Men Want to Know was my favourite, but now that I finished it post readathon, definitely it was Dear Reader by Cathy, Rentzenbrink, and you can hear my thoughts on all the books in a properly formulated wrap up, probably the start of November, because I think this video has gone on long enough. So thank you very much for joining me, especially if you've made it this far. If you are new to my channel, you can hit the subscription button below and I would love to have you in my gang. And so until next time, the only thing to say is bye.